Hey Soul Family, back again. And so this reading, I'm on a roll, guys. And just bear with me because I'm gonna just keep it going, keep it going. I've missed y'all. And for those that are new and tuning in, hey, I am Erica, your favorite Astro homegirl. So let's get into it. This is gonna be another celebrity reading. And OMG, guys, this is gonna be on Young Thug, okay? And I honestly, really don't even know where to start. But let's just start somewhere. So let's get into it. I like to always do the astrology first because it gives me the energy around, the person and their, their energy, how they operate, as well as, in the energy, the people around them. Listen, this is Thug versus everybody. So honestly, I'm going to just kind of do a little bit of the energy around some of the people. We can't cover everybody. So I'm going to get into it. I don't know how long this reading going to be. I'm going to try my best to, it probably going to end up being a part two because it's just so much that, is into it. So let's get into it. Let's get started. And so again, like I said, I do the astrology first. Then we get right on into the cards and get into the reading, okay? So we doing Thug right now, and let's talk about Thug, okay? So Young Thug, aka Jeffrey Lamar Williams, and he is born on August 16th. So my fellow Leo brother, all right? He is a Leo son. So let's see what Jeffrey's or Thug's sun is, which house is in, okay? Because that's going to tell us a lot about him out the gate. So he is oh wow, and it's so interesting that he's a 5th house Leo, guys, and 5th house is all about partnerships, and Leo rules the house, okay, of 5th house, partnerships. So he's a Leo sun in the home of Leo. So honestly, guys, he's a true star. He came into this world to be as such, okay? And right now, it's Thug versus everybody. So, it's the energy of him having conflict in relationships and partnerships, okay? So let's get a little bit more into the energy. So we see that he's a 5th house Leo sun. But that moon, okay? Oh, wow. So he's a moon in Scorpio, all right? And that's interesting because that moon in Scorpio is in his house of home. It's in the 8th house. So again, Scorpio, I always say it's a tough planet, but in his house of home, endings and beginnings. So through endings, and brings new beginnings, brings blessings. Pluto brings power. Okay, guys? So through the endings and the transitions, blessings come when he starts the new beginnings. Okay? So let's talk about, let's see. Oh, wow. And the Pluto itself is in Scorpio. So that explains the power and the blessings. Okay? So yes, he will have the tough times, but it's in a placement where Scorpio and Pluto blesses these energies. And I know it can seem tough at this time, but let's just see how he gonna pull through, okay? Oh, let's see what that North Node is in Capricorn. Wow, and it's in his house, 10th house career, but he has a stellium there. So that kind of explains what's going on right now. So let's see what that Saturn is. Because where Saturn lies is where we can see the challenges in the chart. Wow. So Saturn is in Aquarius. And that's interesting because it's in it's in his house of home. And again, like I always say, Saturn has a relationship with Aquarius, okay? So that's the energy there. Through the challenges and tough times, still pennies from heaven. Still partnerships there, and so we can see challenges in partnerships. But again, Saturn does have a relationship with Aqua. So let's see. Ooh, that's the shakeup in the career with that Uranus in Capricorn. So I see that there, and as we can see, he is experiencing a hell of a shakeup right now. Okay. And Neptune is the industry, and it's in Capricorn. So that stellium, even just looking at his chart, speaks to, you know, the ups and downs and the unexpected twists and turns of just because it's a mess right now. So we just gonna keep it a buck, okay? Chiron is in Leo, and that's the healing point of self. Leo is self. Leo is king. Leo is one. Healing in the selfishness of it all, thug, with all the things that you got going on. So you got healing in this energy, and I think it's safe to say that we see this, you know, on a platform, a world platform, with these leaked calls and all of the things that he has going on right now. Now, it's interesting because that Venus is in Virgo, and it's in that 6th house. So again, he's favored in that 6th house because that Virgo is in his house of home, okay? But Venus being in that Virgo favors the work ethic. But that's the thing. It's a conglomerate. It's almost like maybe even a stellium here in that Virgo. So let's look and see. That's why he's able to get that, communicate and do so well in how he does do the music, because the Mercury is in Virgo, guys. The Venus is in Virgo and the Mars is in Virgo. That's a hell of a stellium there, and that's where he takes action, okay? So it could seem like things is really, really tough, but it's a situation, even just in his chart, that he can kind of push through these challenges, okay? Of course, we can see the shakeups there in the 10th house, and it is in regards to his career, with that Uranus present in there, as well as Neptune. But he got some strong placements that, you know, hold a lot of power. So we're going to see how this thing plays out for Mr. Jeffrey Williams, a.k.a. Young Thug, okay? And I want to see one more thing before we go. And the North Node there in that Capricorn is energy, because this is about, he's not going to get shortcuts. You know, Saturn brings blessings, but also it gets interesting with Saturn because you got to put in the work. And Saturn is not going to favor, you know, the shortcuts and the bullshit. Okay, so let's just keep it above. All right, so let's look at, I want to look at a couple more people before we get into the cards. So let's look at, okay, so this is, see if we can pull her up on another chart. Mariah, the sciences. Let's see how we can pull. Because she is his current love interest at the moment. Okay. I pulled up Astro thing. Okay. So let's go on this one, because I'm Googling and we just want to get the energy of it. So Miss Mariah, the scientist, okay? She is Mariah Armani Buckles is her name. And she is October 27th. So she is a Scorpio sun, guys, okay? And, okay, she's born here in the A. I didn't know that. All right, so she's from Atlanta. Let's get a little bit more information about Miss Mariah. All right, she's a Scorpio sun, guys. Oh, interesting. So that is the, I can see right now the connection with her moon being in Virgo. So let's go back to his chart. And see that Mercury is in Virgo. Venus is in Virgo. And it's interesting because that is where they connect. So we see the connection here right now. Not only do they communicate very well, but that is his love language, okay? So it works. We can see it. Her Venus is in Sagittarius. And so, again, that's that fire sign energy. You know, him being a Leo sun. That can work. And her Mars is also in Sag. Okay. All right, Miss Mariah. Now, her Jupiter is in Aquarius. And we didn't look at what the Jupiter was. Let's see. Oh. Interesting. His is in Leo. So he's meant to, you know, push forward. He's a star. You know what I mean? That's what it is. I know it's a lot going on right now, but we just looking at the foundation of it all, okay? So her being a Jupiter in Aquarius. Let's see what house that's in. Oh, wow. So her Aquarius, guys. Let me see. It's in her 12th house. That's interesting. It's a very interesting placement. Okay. And her, it's, you know, 12th house is the things that spiritual, the house, hidden house, though. And let's see where her challenges lie in her chart. Her Uranus is in his house of home. So she can kind of prevail through her shakeups. So that's interesting. And Neptune is in Capricorn as well as thugs. So that's the industry, that's music. So that is the connection between the two. So that's interesting. And her North Node is in Virgo. So this is an interesting, they work, guys. And they can really work, okay? That's Saturn, though. Let's see where the issues lie. It's in Aries, and it was in retrograde, too. So that's interesting. And this in the house of home. So that's something different. Okay. A fiery energy there. Challenges in that house of fourth, okay? But where she turns it on, her Lilith, guys, is in Virgo, and she's able to captivate him in that energy space. So this is energy. I mean, interesting to see the dynamic. And before we get into the cards, I just want to look at Gunna because he is the artist on the label, as well as the energy that's going on too. One part of it, because this is Thug versus everybody. So let's talk about Gunna, Wanna, baby. And he is from my city. That is the baby to me. He is from College Park, all right? That would be CP on the south side of these, you know what I'm saying, ATL and Georgia streets, all right? He is Sergio Giovanni Kitchens, and his birthday is June 14th, and that is the same day. So he shares the same birthday as Donald Trump, guys, okay? So Mr. 101, Gemini sun. Let's see where that sun lies in Gemini. Okay. So he is alright, so it's in that third house, and that's where we at, okay? So communication, house and home. So Gunna a star, baby, and he knows how to communicate and get the message across, okay? His Mercury is in Cancer, in his house. That's Cancer is the house of home. And him, that's how he able to. I'm liking what you see. He able to get that thing cross to you real smooth, okay? Oh, and where he takes action, all right? Sexual libido and how he moves is in Leo, baby. And it's in that 5th house, okay? But it also looks like, you know, his Chiron, the healing point, is also, let's double check. It's in Leo. So, him and Thug can have unfinished business from past life, all right? He's an artist in this life, but it's some form of a partnership or brotherhood that could have, you know, carried on into this energy. And so, it is a point for them to, you know, do some things differently in this life. Let's go back to Mr. Jeffrey and see what his Chiron. Interestingly enough, Thug's Chiron is in Leo. So they got unfinished business, and it might be something that they really gonna have to truly work through, guys. That's interesting when we look at the, you know, astrology of it all, okay? Also, before we move on, his Venus is in Taurus, okay? That's so interesting because it's Earth energy and Thug's Venus is in Virgo. And so that's why these two make the music is hits, okay? But again, the challenges come with that Chiron in place. That's so interesting. Okay? So we go back to one-on-one, baby. And his Taurus, oh, it's in the house of home. Let's see where his Jupiter at for. Interesting. House of partnerships, Jupiter in Libra in his house of home, and that's where the favor lies. So say no more. We see why Mr. Sergio Kitchens, his blessings come through the partnerships, okay? So at the end of the day, we see where Venus favors him. That's amazing, okay? And his Neptune, the industry, is in Capricorn. And his Capricorn is in his house of home, in career. So this explains it all, okay, guys? It makes a lot of sense. And he got a lot of success and favor even in his chart right here. That old Gemini sun and the way that he communicates real good in that music, okay? And before we move, I just want to check one more person out because we can't look at everybody with astrology because this will go on and on and on. Because in this instance, this is Thug versus every damn body. But, you know, Rollo has played a big part in the back and forth online. So let's check him out real quick and see what he is all about. So we got rapper Rollo. And he is from the ATL, baby, okay? And I will say this for those that don't know Rollo. Shawty Low, rest in peace, Shawty Low. Okay, that is, gotta give him his, you know, salute you, sir. ATL legend that passed away a little while ago. But again, this is ATL, and ATL is small. We all family. And I am known first for making cakes for everybody in the A. And even though that's my children's father, Rico Wade, you know, Dudley family, that's my family. But in the bakery, Shawty Low's oldest daughter, my Brit Brat, she wrote it out with me in the beginning. That's my baby girl, okay? And her daddy had a famous song, Shawty Low again, which on the song when they be like, done it all, done it all, for all y'all that don't know. And if you ever heard the song, you know, in there, he'll be like, Rilo, Marlo, and rest in peace to Marlo too, my E5 brother. But Rilo is the one that he said in the song, okay? When he said, these bitches, we done fucked them all. You know what I'm saying? So y'all check that song out, which y'all know y'all heard. It's a classic. But let's get into Rilo. Rilo is an Aquarius sun. Okay? Wow. And it's in its house of home. So even through his challenges, it's favored through the group. Okay? So it makes sense. Because, he, blessed through him, Charlotte, all of them. I'm speaking to them through a conglomerate, a family, a group, friends. Okay? His moon is in Cancer. And wow, it's in his house of home. So that explains his emotions, guys, and how I was wondering, like, why do he always have to respond to the BS? But we can see right now, just by him having that moon in Cancer that's highlighted in his house of home, because fourth house does rule Cancer. Cancer is emotions, okay? So he really is not even about anything else, but just about who he is and the essence of him, as we can see in his chart, that he's going to respond because it's an emotional thing and he has a point to prove, okay? Mercury in Aquarius, so very multifaceted. So he going to get that money, baby. That's a fact. And it's going to come to his hands and he's going to make it happen. And I think that it's safe to say, even with him, from my understanding, the time he's out now, and some here in Atlanta, it's this place called Pakistan that they call it as his considered area. And he has done a lot for his neighborhood, building it up and doing big things. So that explains it with his Aquarius energy, okay? And then Mercury and in the sun. Mars is in Leo. So that is where he takes action. That's his sexual libido, partnerships, how he moves, and it's in his house of home, okay? So he's a star as well, as we can see. King in his own right, king in his space, king in his neighborhood, all right? Jupiter is in Sag, and that is overly favored because Jupiter is ruled, Sagittarius rules Jupiter, so in his house of home, ninth house. Listen, through the challenges he's going to push through. Before we close out, Saturn is in Pisces in his house home. He's spiritual, okay? And I think that, if I'm not mistaken, his faith is Muslim, but we can also just see, even in his Pisces being in house of home, things is hidden. He's very, 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 very spiritual, and that is what carries him, okay? So, it makes a lot of sense. Old soul, been here before, and North Node is in his house of home. No, not house of home, but his North Node is in Scorpio. Let's see what that Pluto. All right, so Pluto is. So that's where the challenges lie too, and that's the jails and the things like that in that ninth house. Okay, so it explains his life. So we get it, Rilo, but he's a star, baby. So let's get into, that's been long enough on the astrology. I just like to get the messages, and y'all know that this was going to be a long one because we got to ask all the questions. I know y'all got a million questions when it comes to Thug, because it's Thug versus every damn body, okay? So I just wanted to get a little bit of something about the people that are kind of like so in the forefront. And I'm not even going to get into it, but we will say Wham, a.k.a. that's what Thug called Lil Baby. And Lil Baby is a Sagittarius sun, okay? I won't tire y'all out with it. We're going to go and move on into the cards. But I just wanted to kind of touch on the forefront, because there's so many people to touch in it. You got QCP, Gucci Mane, all of the above. And I want to say that Gucci Mane also is an Aquarius sun too, okay? So let's get into the cards, guys. But like I said, this is a little astrology on, what we dealing with right now in the forefront of it all, of everybody who, even though Gunna hasn't had a lot to say, or nothing to really say at all, but he still is a part of the mess, okay? Because he's the artist that Thug is going in the energy of. So let's get into it, and let's get into them cards, all right, y'all? All right, y'all, let's get into this reading. And even though this is about everybody, child, ooh, we got to burn us some sage, honey. And your girl had to take a few shots before I even get this thing started. I'm going to do as much as I can, and if we got to do a part 2, we will, okay? I ain't going to tire y'all out, because even the Cardi reading was very extensive. It went over a few hours because of all the different questions that y'all had, okay? So, I'm going to, let's see what they're talking about. And we'll just do as much as we can. Like I said, we got to do a part 2. We'll do a part 2, okay? All right, y'all. Let's get into Mr. Jeffrey Williams, a.k.a. Young Thug, honey. Get that energy situated with him. Let's get the current energy around him. But you know what? Before we start, shout out to Milagro Grams. I fool with Milagro, okay? And it's a free Tory on this channel, okay? Leo gang. Let's hear some of the compilation calls. I won't play them all, but I'm gonna just play a few before we get started, just to, you know what I'm saying, just before we pull the cards and get the current energy of Jeffrey, okay? So these are the lead calls, you know. Some, I think, dealing with, got 21 Savage in there, and even Mariah, the scientist. And even though I did the astrology first, I didn't want to just make it so long, guys. But again, Wham, aka Thug, called Lil Baby Wham. His birthday is December 4th. He's a Sagittarius sun. I have my own baby. This birthday is born on that day as well as they share the same birthday with Jay-Z, okay? Also, 21. I gotta Google what day his birthday is, but I do know that he's a Libra sun, and I love 21 Savage, guys. ATL, you know what I mean? I do know he's a Libra sun, like I said, and I love when he do his little rap, he say 21. So let's get into it. These are the lead cards before we start the cards, okay?
Really, really hate Buddy.
Yeah.
I really hate Buddy.
This is about Gunna, guys.
I literally don't hate nobody in the entire world but him. I literally hate him. I swear to God, I hate him. But business, business is business, you know? And I feel like I would let him have a whole month to himself, but I don't want to put it out. I don't want to be putting it out too long after him, so it'll look like, oh, both of them just dropped the album. I feel like I wanted to be like, he posts his cover like, my album come Friday, and then I post a cover, my album come Friday. I wanted to just be like straight Kanye West tormenting them niggas.
Again, shout out Milagro Grams, okay?
Really dropping the album on the same day this nigga dropping this shit. Like, he on bullshit. You know, I really...
No, we're on godly shit.
Man, I'm on demon time. I'm not with none of that.
We're on godly time.
Trying to do other shit. You know, when he did his 2 album deal with me, Cash called me one day like, hey, where you going? I'm gonna. Who speaking for him? I'm like, wow. Oh, I'm next. You know, he trying to get signed right here where we can't sign it. And he demanded he want, 20 million. So I already done told him, like, whatever you want, just say it. I'm gonna give you the money, whatever you want. Just on some weak brother shit. Like, nigga, I know you can't go nowhere in this world and get no $20 million check from no label. You're not doing numbers like that. You alright, but you ain't doing that like that. You know? Like, the number 1 album you just had right now, I paid you to have a number 1 album. You didn't, you know what I'm saying, honestly earn a number 1 album over the weekend, my boy. I paid for that shit. I never said that to him. I never told him that. You know, cause we just got the plug on that. Like, you never earned a number 1 album. I spent 50 extra grand buying motherfucking streams, $50,000 buying streams for you. same thing. But Cash like, let it go. Cash is like, snap down. Like, man, let the nigga on the way. I ain't sending shit. Snap down. Like a player. Nigga don't bet. He did a little deal. He got some little signs, a little nigga from his hood, whatever. Did the same shit, but he did a deal where he took their money. So these niggas, some young niggas, so these niggas like 17, 18, like real kids, baby. The oldest one, them probably be 18. The oldest one, no, I'm talking about 20. The oldest one probably be 20. It's like 5 of them. They probably like 16 to 20. Man, these niggas ain't got no song. These niggas ain't popping. Nobody in Atlanta ain't heard them. They done did like 3-4 shows in the city in 2-3 years. Like, these niggas done had 3 shows. And they shows we like got down $5,000. You know, it's on the behalf of Gunna and all that shit for sure. Like, the show, niggas booking you just cause they like, oh, they Gunna new artists, they upcoming, they Gunna new artists, but they ain't got no song, they ain't put no music out, no net, they just doing shows. So these niggas like, man, we got a show coming up in about goddamn 3 weeks. We got a show coming up in 3 weeks. We want to put a song out so we can perform it at the show, cause we ain't got no song out. So put the song out, fun little niggas and shit, whatever. These niggas go do the show. They like, man, nigga, take goddamn $2,500 from the young niggas. I'm like, man, this is crazy. I'm like, nigga, you know you signed to me and you make millions of dollars. I ain't never took $1 from you. Why the hell would you ever in your life accept $1 from these young boys, bro? These niggas kids. What the hell you gonna do with $2,500, bro? Like, you gonna make 5 young niggas split $2,500? You supposed to let them get $1,000 piece, bro. What the hell is wrong with you? $2,500 ain't gonna do nothing in the world for you, boy. He's like, well, that's a deal they got. I'm like, but hell, got your mind fucked up, boy. You losing your sanity. Like, well, hell, got your mind fucked up. The worst way. Like, at this point, now I just gave you $20 million. I just gave you a $15 million check. Ain't no way in the hell you spend no $2,500 from these young niggas, bro. These niggas got 4 shows. Ain't no way in the hell you spend no $2,500. Man, he could have like, he just be like, oh no. And then the shit was like, he would do his deal with me, and he ain't say nothing to me. He's sitting around me every day just chilling, kicking the brother shit, but going behind my back, trying to talk to other companies about signing. And I already told him, like, whatever you want, just say it. Whatever you want. Before I even heard about him talking to companies or anything, I was like, shit, hey, you know your deal, look. He like, yeah. I'm like, shit, what you want? He like, shh, I'm trying to really see now what I want. He like, I ain't really trying to hit you like that, big brother. You really whatever. I ain't on that one. I'm like, man, right, whatever you want, text it to me. If you don't want to just talk like a man, just text it. He like, all right. Never text nothing. I get a phone call from Cass saying he's talking to labels. I'm like, oh, okay, so he want to sign with labels. I'm like, all right, let it go. Cass like, hell no, he got to sign with you. Like, you better created it, nigga. He got to sign with you. He got to re-sign with you. They got the same money that anybody didn't give him. I'm like, hell no, just let him go. So I guess
Can you explain something to me?
Man, I know you regret it. You hate yourself more than I hate you. Man, you get out of jail, you fuck, smoking some weed, you kicking your shit at your house. A week later, you that shit, wow. Nigga like, damn, man, I'm tripping. Mm-hmm. Like, come on. We got into it the other day. She called him a rat fuck, nigga. Yeah, he got down there, started crying. That's how I go to be though, like, ain't no girl gonna be fucking you and then, like, I really be like that. Like, I wish you don't never get no pussy no more. You don't never get another $1 in the world. Like, you don't deserve man. You don't deserve man. I don't give a fuck about nothing. Man, you don't deserve man. But you, the worst. Yeah. Like, you don't deserve nothing. Like, but you probably feel it like, but you don't know nobody on that fucking case. Like, no, man, you don't deserve that. You don't deserve no pussy. Nigga did that shit to get out for a hoe, bro. We used to put a nigga jail call and shit. Nigga just straight, just, damn, man, I love you, baby. What you doing? Man, yeah, I'm gonna be back with you in a minute. Yeah, I'm just, yeah, man, this shit lame, man. Damn, man, nigga got me caught up in this shit. When nigga go to talk like that, all that little tight shit, man, watch out. You got nigga got you caught up in some shit like I ain't got caught. Nigga got me caught up in some shit. Yeah. Man, nigga got get caught up in some shit, bro. These niggas, man, I don't even know these niggas, bro. And all that old type shit now. Like, nigga, I don't know these niggas neither. I know you, Jack, and Duke. And goddamn, and Quake. I know 4-5 people on this case. The rest of these young niggas, I ain't ever hung around flying like something. Ever in life. Shit like that. I don't know these niggas neither, nigga. I'm in the same position you in, nigga. But guess what? I ain't doing no sucker shit. Whatever, man. I'm going to that warehouse. Whatever. I'm not going to ain't no sucker, so I'm a grown man. I ain't doing that. Ain't no money, ain't no nothing. Oh. Man, niggas sitting there motherfucker on everything. I don't give a damn. I wish I would do that. Ooh. Man, nigga, come on with it, man. You know what I mean? I just don't respect. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Man, you and Jeff Williams in the car. It was a gun and drugs in the car. Was it yours? He probably said that though, bro. 100%, but you that's the only part I don't agree with. I disagree with you on the other shit that I wrong. But that's like, nigga, it wasn't drugs either. It was the nigga who took the charge. Yeah. Cause I don't, in my heart, bro, I don't feel like Shawty did what he did with the intention of hurting you. You see what I'm saying? I don't really get that vibe from him. I feel like he just hurting him. That's just my opinion. I just look at it. I definitely was thinking about that one day, like, man, I'm just gonna goddamn. I ain't gonna say nothing about this shit. I'm just woo. I might just be like, man, them folks did what they had to do. I don't feel like that was wrong. I swear to God, I was thinking about doing that, bro. But I'm like, shit, what the hell? That's gonna change. Cause I feel like it's really over with for your rap career. The album you put out might go #1, but that's it after it. You know what I'm saying? Like on some real shit. You got to. You hold his career in your hand, bro. That's what I'm telling you. If you come out right now and tell what he did went wrong, cause them folks already on the internet like, man, fuck all that. He rocking with us. Ever since he dropped that song, they're like, man, we rocking with him. If you come out and tell the world that you was in agreement with that shit, his career ain't over. That's why I said, like, I understand that part, but now think about niggas like you, Dirt, who niggas who I really fuck with, who like my brothers who already done like cut ties. Imagine niggas, y'all niggas already done cut ties with a nigga, and then I come and take a nigga and be on the nigga's side after they did what wrong. They can call me out. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like I'm slapping y'all in. No, it ain't. Cause niggas need to stop jumping the gun. Niggas, like, I don't know, bro. How you call that jumping the gun though? And then they saying, fuck a nigga, what that's really finna get a nigga for it. Oh, definitely.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause for a second, but I wanted to just kind of lead for, you guys, soul family that ain't heard none of the thug calls or none of what, I know y'all heard the headlines of him being called a rat, a snitch, all of the different things, but haven't even heard not even one of the phone calls. I mean, it's many of million, a lot of back and forth with him and quite a few people from, I know DJ Academics has really, really shined a light on his platform in regards to dealing with all the different people who have been a part of this particular backlash. Because it's like, like I said, I didn't even really honestly know where to start, guys. Because I'm born and raised from Atlanta. And I mean, it's like damn near Atlanta's in a shambles in regards to this, okay? There's so many people and energy and that all just play a part when it comes to this, okay? So I wanted you guys to hear a little bit of just a snippet of what is being said, or Young Thug, aka, he's Young Thug. Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, is being accused of, okay? So I started with the cards of his current energy space, and just like, what is the current energy and what's going on with him? So let's get into it. Okay, so in his energy, it's just not good timing. Like, it's bad. It's like, all of this coming out at this time when this man is trying to rebuild his life. He's trying to, get his career back on track. And it's almost like this is the last bullshit that he's needed to have to deal with and come against. He's already did an X amount of time in the prison, okay? I know y'all all familiar with the YSL trial and him beating the RICO charge, okay? And it's just like, it's stress, it's pressure that has been brought upon him when it comes to this situation. But also, this is about, even in him dealing with all of this unexpected, untimely, just the failure, the disagreement, and all of the things going on. This energy is about, to me, the escalated stress of it all, and him not even in certain energies taking responsibility for his part and what he's played. Not necessarily so much as being a snitch, but at the same time, not taking responsibility in regards to, the situation at hand in general, in all of the above, and him not taking responsibility in the part that he's taking in this situation and why everything done just went to shit, so we might say, okay? This is a situation where he is, he wanna go somewhere and hide, but it's a situation where it is what it is. He got to sit still. He got to face the music. He got to face the backlash, okay? And it's like I said, this card represents it all. It's Thug versus everybody right now because he got beef with a little bit of everybody at this moment. So these cards are accurate, okay? This next card is about, him not growing. Him not understanding the part that he's played and accepting responsibility for it. In order for him to move on, to move forward, he's avoiding growth, avoiding the personal development in his life to just let all this BS go so he can move forward to the positive, to the better. I mean, be grateful you beat a whole RICO charge. That's rare and unheard of. So hitting the reset button and moving forward is just kind of the focal point and the most important thing in his life right now that he needs to realize and be thankful for, move forward and stand on it, okay? This represents, to me, instability in his finances since he's come home in regards to his career, but also the imbalance in the friendships and the relationships, juggling, being this way in front of somebody's face and being this way in another person's face. And to me, this what this represents in disregards of that Two of Pentacles, in reverse, okay? And just not having no motion. Because he's not operating in, upright energy, just energy. So when you see that Two of Wands, it's like all of this shit done came down in bad timing, okay? And this is the least thing that he needed to go wrong. That's what's so interesting, okay? So this is about the obstacles that have been put in place from the outside energy in order for him to fail, okay? He wants to come out of the low energy that he's been dealing with, okay? And his goal is to stay motivated. His goal is to move forward. But in the way that he's been operating is that Knight of Swords energy, his goal is to persevere, to push forward. He's ambitious, and one thing about it, this is about spiritual challenges as well that he's been experiencing just over a course of time. Even with that 2-1, and the Page of Wands, energy, motion, action, moving forward. And this energy, just represents these unexpected situations and how he's gonna, move through the ops and all of the obstacles that have been thrown in his path, okay? Right now, this represents the bad luck he's experiencing, the karma. Because one thing about life, what you put in is what you get back. And it's safe to say he's experiencing that karma, okay? And again, Ace of Swords, no motion. This also, to me, is a legal card when you see that swords, okay? And this is about, again, everything. He got more than one card, and bad time is like all this shit coming down at once. And it's just not good. It's not good, It shows his abuse of power, taking advantage of, again, the partnerships, label mates. And it's the news is coming out. You being revealed. Your truth is being revealed. That you ain't shit. And that you operate in the wrong energy. It's so interesting to see this. And it's like based on your energy and how you reacted and treated the people around you. People prayed for you. People want to see the best for you coming home, okay? And this is about you overcoming the obstacles, but also, accepting and making the mind, understanding like, okay, this is all of the challenges in front of me. And when it's in reverse, it's about, disruption, lack of planning, okay? Abuse of power in the energy space. And just, experiencing the delays and the obstacles, okay? And just unclear thinking. Not being able to think clear with all of what's going on. And at the end of the day, this is your karma for the decisions that you made. And this is in regards to Young Thug, okay? Now, this is his current energy, and I think it's safe to say that that is what we all see. I'm going to take a pause, and I'm going to come back, okay? Because it's late, and it's a lot. So, on the next energy, when I add, we're going to talk about, we talked about his current energy. So, we're going to get into him versus everybody. So, give me a second so I can figure out how I'm going to start and go forward with this. And just bear with me. We're going to keep going forward, all right? Because there's so much to unpack in it all. All right, so family, we back. So let's get into, you know what? Let's see first, who did this. Let's ask Spirit if the because there's so much to unpack, and we know that the calls are being leaked. So first and foremost, him beating that charge was huge, and a huge loss to here in Atlanta. The what's her name? The district, I don't know if she the district attorney or whatever, but Fannie Willis, all right? She took a huge loss, and clearly, she's a sore loser. At the end of the day, we just gonna call a thing. We're gonna keep it real over here. So it's the energy around you got beat and you keep getting beat. I have said from the beginning, anytime I flip my cards, even when we go back to the Diddy readings, Brian Steele, the man of steel, ain't nothing to play with, okay? Him and his team, Bruce Harvey, all of those guys are the flat truth, okay? Even with my lawyer, Mr. Daniel Kane, they're called super attorneys, the dream team, as a matter of fact, okay? So any one of them, you know, you enlist them into something that you got going on, and you better believe in some form of factory you're going to have some victory. So they got beat through and through, got the brakes beat off them. You know, Thug gave up early, which he should have just stood in the gap, because clearly you saw Yak and SB get released of all charges for the most part, and the probation or whatnot, and, you know, whatever. Then next, Brian Steele just came back, not even last week, and he was able to recover all of Thug's property and all the things. And I don't know, you know, if y'all remember, for those that did watch the YSL trial, one of the officers had the audacity to have on the damn watch that was, you know, missing in the, you know, all of the things that he had and his belongings. So that was a huge loss to, you know, to the Atlanta, because they had to return him not only all his items and all his things, but all his money as well. And it was also rumored that she used some of the money out of Thugs, because she didn't never plan on them even getting out of these charges. And it's like commingling funds with money that she used, you know, state money, and really that would be considered state money because they, you know, seized his money as well in the process. But she used that for her boyfriend, Nathan Wade. So, again, she had to go on trial with that, you know, trial with Trump. So let's get into this and ask. And, you know, I'm just speaking on it, just kind of giving y'all an enlightenment on updating for some of you guys that, again, if you just now tuning in to me, you have no idea what has caused all this melee. So the first thing we're going to ask is, did Fannie Willis and, you know, the police officer and all of them, the officials, did they have something to do with leaking these calls, okay, of Thug? Because clearly this is like a takedown. Since we sore losers and we got beat, you know, we're gonna do this so we can ruin it where you won't have any money, or we can create a war in the streets with all of, you know, you against everybody, and then hopefully y'all are all, you know, somebody will take each other out, and then one of y'all, or if not, mostly all, will go back to jail. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think Rollo is still on probation, Thug, of course, and quite a few others, Woody, all of them. So if I can, since I got beat and I had to turn all this back, and again, I'm going to keep saying it, I'm a sore loser, then I'm going to make it where I'm going to create a whole ass shitstorm and make it where all of y'all going to either take each other out, and at some point, hopefully one of y'all will violate y'all probation, come back to jail, and then I win, because then I get to say, well, I told you that they were going to, you know, lose, meaning they were going to come back to jail, and that they were, you know, they should have never got off on these charges. So let's ask, okay? Which I think is really sad, because at the end of the day, you know, even with all this going on and more calls getting released with Thug, this is a takedown for them, because they just want to see all of them come back to that jail cell so they can feel some form of a win. So I'm praying that these guys find a way, even if you don't never talk to each other again, if y'all don't like each other, if y'all don't want to fool with each other, cool, but keep it in a situation where it's just a dissolution. Don't allow them to win. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what they want. That's why all this is happening. So let's ask. Angels, answers, pick out. Please give me all kinds of pictures. Let's choose all kinds. Oh, Fannie Willis. I think she's a Libra. But anyway, her energy and ginger. Did she have something to do with these calls? Did she have something to do with putting this into the, you know, hands and looking at these calls on Young Thug, aka Jeffrey Williams. So let's see. Probably need to play some music too. Let's ask, did she have something to do, Fannie Willis, with this leaking of the calls? She a sore loser. She has something to do with leaking these calls. Come out on Thug, where it has created. Let's see. She has something to do with it. Let's see. see. All right, let's see. Any extras? Yeah. All right, let's get a little music too before I even flip the other ones. I've stacked my pillows up, y'all, so I can be up higher. Look, I'm knocking over my mic and stuff. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to let's get a little energy going so we can get through this, because it's a lot of people that we gotta ask about. So let's get into it. Let's go back to that. And let's pull up the music, okay? And I hope y'all doing good. Sorry for the pause. I just wanted to, you know, I'm like, you know what? Let's do a little something. Hopefully it won't be no copyright, because sometimes it be, but it's still music that's available, you know, for everybody to listen to. So I try to make sure that I play what's within range. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's do this. Make sure Bluetooth is off. In the world? Okay, here we go. I guess I'm having like a little delay. Okay, there you go. I had to get some more memory on my phone. So it's kind of like I probably needed to turn it off and turn it back on. I got a few phones though. I don't know, guys. This isn't working. Let me do this that way. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hit the reset. But in the meantime, I'm sorry for the pause too. Damn. Because these readings are long. Cardi's was long too. But everybody got so much going on. It's crazy. Okay, let's do it. There we go. We'll keep it on low. Okay. There we go. All right, now let's see what she got going on, child. Fannie Willis. Honey, did she have something to do with this? First of all, again, it's interesting that we said, what is her feelings in the situation? Because they definitely got beat, you know? So she's really, truly mad about this. A sore loser when it comes to this whole situation. You know, she hated it, you know? And when you see the Lover's card, it's like, this could represent how she, you know, in regards to him, it was a takedown of him. But also, I'm going to say this, because I'm kind of a little bit more, because I'm here in Georgia. But they said that she dated, rest in peace to Nut. That was a lot of who I think they said the murder of, unaliving, YouTube, I apologize, unaliving of Donovan Thomas, okay? And so this even confirms that she dated him, and that's what was the word on the street, okay? So she feels like she failed also in, this was her vendetta. This is a personal vendetta that she had towards Young Thug and all of them in this YSL trial. And it was due to this king, this man who was unalive, Donovan Thomas, okay? So yeah, she is a sore loser in regards to the situation, because that is even her whole purpose and drive of, you know, even having this case, you know, going against them and bringing this to the state of Georgia, okay? And I will say this, Donovan Thomas was loved by many, And Atlanta is huge, but Atlanta is still small. And even with some of my friends that I know personally, I don't have a side. But some, love Thug, and then it's just as many love Donovan Thomas, aka, Nut. Okay, so I would say when he passed, this divided the city. Okay, one thing I like to do is keep it a buck with y'all. Okay, so this is what that represents, and also this even also backs it up too, because Temperance is just where she lost the balance. Everything just kind of went out of bounds when it came to this case. But this is also his energy, and so this confirms her purpose and why. Okay. And this is somebody who she had a lot of love. So, I mean, this could have been a love interest that he, you know what I mean? But this is her emotions in regards to it. She felt it's like a loss, because Cuff's energy is about, it's interesting. When you see Cuff's energy, that is about emotions, okay? Yep, look. I didn't realize that these cards were stuck together. So this might not even been the message. This is the message. There you go. And it is about greed and control. And she is upset about it, baby, that she lost this case, okay? So, yes, she did have something to do with it, okay? And it was because they were disorganized. And if you did watch the trial, the reason and the loss of the trial was because of they didn't have all what they needed, okay? And they kept coming with the wrong stuff. I can't, honestly, I think they're going to end up having to make this a movie, okay? And look, this was the fight. She lost the fight. Yes. Did she have something to do with this being leaked? Absolutely. Okay? Absolutely. This is their loss, y'all. And she hated it. She can't stand it. Look at that. And they say she'll leave her to fight energy and all. So this is the conflict, okay? And she, she wanted to put an end to them, but she did. Because look at the heartbreak in regards to it. And again, this is about Nut, too. AKA, and rest in peace to you, Mr. Thomas, okay? She trying to move on, but she did not like the loss that she took in regards to this, okay? So now we see what has brought this on and why, okay? I'm going to ask, too, because it gave me the current energy around her. Let's see, that she has something to do with leaking those calls. Because we see why it happened. So, she has something to do with leaking those calls. Did she have something to do with leaking those calls? Because it showed us why. It definitely showed the loss of the case, for sure. Came out of a conglomerate. We're going to just take it. I'm going to make sure these cards are new. This is a new deck, y'all. So, make sure they ain't stuck together, because that other card was meant, the one under it, which was factual. Absolutely did. And did. Because she want them to lose it all. Look. She like, you know what? I'm going to win one way or the other by any means necessary. And the karma she feel like need to be brought upon them. This is about moving forward, new cycles. But look, this is about, yes, she partnered up with somebody. Ooh. And these cards are stuck together. Ain't that crazy? And work with them to what? Bring the messages out. Baby, because she want them to lose it all. She want all of them to what? Do what I said, so they can lose their legacy, their life, and everything. And go on right on back to jail. That is a mess, okay? Wow. So, yeah, she got something to do with it. They definitely did this. This is purposely leaked, okay? For sure, all right? That's deep. You know what just happened? I think my phone on low. That, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. All right, so what we gonna ask next? We know she had something to do with it. So let's ask, and we got Thug's current energy, okay? So we'll ask towards the end how everything will pan out for him. But let's ask how Gunna feeling, okay? Since we're going to get into that first, and then we'll get down and ask about Mariah the scientist. But let's ask how does Gunna feel right now in the situation with these calls being leaked and him hearing how Thug really feels about him. So Gunna share the same birthday as Donald Trump, y'all. 6/14, 6/14, 14. Please give me that current energy. So let's find out how Gunna feel. Okay? How does he feel about this whole situation? Gunna. Search your kitchen. How does he? He's found out and revealed in regards to him. Current energy, that's X. How does Gunna feel? Let's see. His feel is X. How does Gunna feel? Okay, we got Kelce. Let's see, he talking. He a Gemini. Communication. Let's see. Ooh. The cards coming out, ain't they? You got something to say. And this is so interesting on the card that even fell, guys. That is crazy. Alright. That is wild. Let's see. Alright, baby. It felt like that, so I'm going to take it how it fell on the ground. Let's ask any extra message. Any extra message? Extra messages. Okay. You got some extra ones, okay? Damn. That's so sad. Okay, so... tell y'all how he feel right now. How does Gunna feel? Damn. Yikes. Okay, guys. So, current past is always the past. And this is what this represents when it comes to Mr. Sergio Kitchens, a.k.a. Gunna. So, Gunna, guys, he's coming in strong. Okay? He got the strength card. His Leo energy is in the upright. And so... current past is he had a strong energy for Thug. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say he looked up to him, but he felt like, and we talking about, when I look at this be the current past, okay? So he feels strong in his projects. He feels validated. He feels like, you know what, I'm winning right now. I got a successful project because he done had many that's successful. This just the next most recent successful, his album. And he feels good in his energy, his vitality, his physical, how he's, somebody talking now. This is about talking because my nose started itching when that happened. And, he just, like you said, he's standing on business. He coming in strong. But this also is about Leo energy. And this is how he viewed the, He had a certain respect for him on some level, okay? And this is about the two of them and, their partnership. He felt like, he didn't have a hate for him the way that Thug is feeling. Gunna was in an upright in regards to him, even if it didn't feel like that. Because look, guys, if you see that, that's the King of Pentacles. And Thug was the one that, had the money. So he looking at it like, damn, I looked at you like a big bro. I looked at you like I had respect for you. I really had a certain loyalty to you, but you came in on the bullshit. Look at that. Coming in with your shady ways, doing all these backhanded deals and, coming in a sense like, you want to, basically extort me to an extent. Because King of Pentacles, that represents extortion, okay? It's about greed. You came in with your dishonesty, okay? Just came in all wrong when I came in an upright in regards to you. I feel backstabbed. I feel heartbroken. Look at that. He and it's almost like point of no return. He hurt, guys. He feel away. Look at that. There go our answer right there. It's like he was hurt. He in his feelings, and he don't really hate him. Like, Gunna don't feel the same way about Thug as Thug said about him. Thug was like, I hate him. He really had a love for you, like a big brother. And he is heartbroken and hurt by the way that you did him. That's how Gunna feel, y'all. And he felt like all in regards to money. All in regards to that, whoa. This how you did me. He came in the upright though. But he felt like, damn, big bro, you big stab me all over this money. Y'all see that? And look, this the secrets and all of the, everything that was hidden. This is being revealed. This is Thug, his calls. All of everything being leaked and the secrets and him, he getting to see the truth for what it is. But at the end of the day, he like, shit, I'm winning, baby. So guess what? You the one at a loss. You the one looking stupid. Meanwhile, I'm over here not only looking good, I'm feeling good, and I'm doing damn good, okay? And he feel like, he looking at it like, look, you stuck. You basically hung yourself, bro. You done put yourself in a situation now where everything upside down, even your relationships upside down. Because it's going to be some folks who going to deal with you still and some folks who not going to still deal with you. So he like, you know what? You did that to yourself. So it's crazy because Gunna feel like, shit, you did this to yourself. And I don't even hate you the way. Even at this moment, he don't hate him or dislike him. He disappointed. He heartbroken about the situation, if more than anything. That's interesting. So we get to see his energy. Let's see how. Oof. So it was Gunna first, and then he was on the phone with 21 Savage, and Rollo, because Rollo. There's so many of them, guys. So I'm gonna try to go in one. So we're gonna do Rollo right now because Rollo was the one that made the headlines, and he is the one who's upset because he felt like, y'all pulled me into this, and now it just kind of went extreme. So Rollo is the one who, went off all on the internet after the calls were released about Thug, and one thing that Sorry, soul family, madam. Sorry about that. I had my alarm set. I apologize. Okay, so back again. Rollo, he's an Aquarius. Definitely a staple here in Atlanta, and he's the one who went viral again, feeling a way about what Thug had to say about him and him hearing the outcome. So let's ask about his energy right now, how he feels about Thug. Okay. Sorry about this. Which I had already put cards even before I hit it because of the alarm, but let's ask. Card energy I'm gonna just ask about Rollo since he was the one that made the headlines. I'm gonna ask, 'cause I wanna know. That's at least 1 of 3 messages. How does he feel about it? The situation. Let's see. Yeah, let's just take it. We gonna ask. Okay. Any extra messages in regards to Rollo? In regards to Rollo. Okay, so. Damn. Wow. Okay, baby. Baby. Okay, so his messages is cut and dry. This is Thug, because Thug is a Leo. So we asked, how does Rollo feel about it? He like, you a buster, bitch ass, and excuse my French, y'all. But this is the energy, and this how he feel about him, okay? Period. You know, you supposed to be a king, and you is a what? A band. That's how he feel about him. And right now, you know, when you see that page of wands, it's like that news came out fast, and he like, man, you a hoe. You got, you know what I'm saying, no motion. That's why, you know, nobody ain't fooling with you. And it's just a situation where he really is disappointed too in how that came out and how it came at him. You see what I'm saying? And this, to me, I didn't even speak on it, but I know that he had an energy about Jade, baby Jade, and the camera cut off. So if y'all didn't hear before my alarm said, Jade is a staple here in Atlanta too. She is one who is on the Big Bank or the Big Facts podcast with Big Bank Network or in the Big Facts Network. I can't remember what the YouTube channel, but go and follow it. You know, Rollo beefing with them. He didn't have good things to say, so he feel like, you know, she a piece of shit. That's his energy towards her. Because I do know Jay, that's my Ifa sister, love you. Got love for her and Bank. That's my family, you know, my spiritual family. So I have nothing but respect for them. But I know that she's a Cancer, so that is his energy towards her. So it's interesting. We asked about Rollo and his came out cut and dry. He like, fuck Jay, fuck Thug, like, forget, it's whatever. And he with the shit. He with it. Whatever you want to do, if you bring it to my doorstep, I'm going to bring the ruckus to you. Period. He is with it. And he feel like Thug handled everything recklessly, too, when you see that fool card in reverse. Like, you know, you lame how you handled all this. And you didn't, it wasn't thought out. Like, you a real buster. That's how he feel about him. You a real buster. And you could get it. You could get it by any means necessary. That's how he feel about him, okay? So right now, his energy ain't good towards him. And look, he coming in hot like, you don't want no smoke with me. You don't want no smoke with me. When you see that Knight of Swords coming in like that, that's a motherfucker put him up there. That's his energy too, cause he's an Aquarius. So that's that air energy. He coming in with it, and you know he feel like it'll be more news. But again, this is reckless news. You can't make it up. 2 pages on the table. How he feel, and he feel like you don't want no smoke with me. But we also might hear some energy that's still even going forward with these men. Let's just pray that the best come out for everybody, okay? Because it could be even a little bit more can go on with them not getting along. And more news may come out in regards to that, okay? So, well, we see Rollo. He is not with it. And he like F all y'all. Really, and any of y'all can get it. It's whatever. It's up and stuck. So we know how he feel about the situation. Okay, we got that. All right, so we gonna ask, since I don't want to go through every single person. I just was trying to go I'm just bringing up the immediate people right now that were on the calls, who was affected, who was the most upset. Because we know that this has included everybody. The calls keep coming. And so what we going to ask right now, since we asked about Thug, how he felt, we asked about how Gunna felt, we asked about how Rollo felt, let's ask about, and it's interesting because Jade came up in the messages right then. So we didn't even have to add her to the situation. Since Savage was on the call with him, let's ask the energy around him and how he feels about Thug right now. So let's ask, let's cut the cards. Let's cut the cards first and then we going to ask. And I know he's a Libra son. I did quite a bit on the astrology part. And I didn't add him a little baby in. This probably we gonna come back to this again. This will be a part 2. But this another long one. And I don't want to keep tiring y'all out with the long ones. You know what I'm saying? But let's ask, we're going to ask about how Savage feels. So, 21 Savage. I know he's a Libra. Feel about what's the code? How do you feel about it right now? So let's ask. Yeah. How does he feel right now about? Let's get his current energy. And then, you know what, after this, we're going to ask, I'm going to ask about, what's 21 Okay. Ooh, that's crazy. I don't know why that happened, but I don't know. We're going to take it whether it's up or down. With that first card, we're gonna look at it in both ways because it did a spin on us. I ain't never seen that like that. So we're gonna take it for the up and the down for whatever reason. Let's see. Current energy, how Savage feel. Ooh. See how this card keep turning? So we're gonna take that one the way it is. We understand. Okay. So let's just ask. We got 3 messages. Any other messages? Jeffrey. Yep, he got a couple of you got something to say. That Libra got something to say. Damn. All right. So, damn. All right. So, he disappointed in Thug, guys. You know, they clearly was real close. But he just feel like you fucked up this time, man. And, you know, you went against a lot of people. You know, you done did a lot of wrong. And he just feel like you betrayed a lot of people. You know, maybe he came in certain people's face one way and then behind their back is totally different, you know. And he feel like, you know, when you see that 3 of Cups, you know, he like, you really my dog, like really my brother. And technically, we should be doing big things. You shouldn't be in this place that you in right now. We should be celebrating. You beat a RICO charge. You know what I'm saying? You know, you done came home and this one's supposed to be the outcome. We supposed to be up, you know? And he felt like, you know, your money lost and you looking crazy, man. You was shady to people. When you see that 5 of Pentacles, that's like, you know, it's a mistress energy, but it's also an energy of just, it's unfortunate what's happening to you. And it's like you outside in the cold, you know? So he gonna be giving him a little ice treatment too, a little bit. But he you know, they got a good friendship. You see what I'm saying? But he also feel like, you know, you went against the grain. You went against the institution. Like, it's like you versus everybody. And now you at a loss. And it's like, this is Thug too again, you know? He like, man. And it's like, you supposed to be having motion and success, but instead you came out on the biz. And you looking crazy too, you know? You went against it all. Like, you took bad advice. Like, what was going on that, you know, I mean, they was going back and forth on the calls. But he just feel like, man, you in a down spot right now. Cause you was reckless with, it's like the way these calls coming out, he feel like the police also, that's the institution, the powers that be. So that also let you know he feel like the way that these calls have been, you know, coming out and shining a light on the situation, or hearing their calls and all of the things coming out, he feel like they mad. They mad. They want to put you down. They want you to be finished. You know what I'm saying? He feel like the same what I was saying, like Fannie Willis and the police, they put this out because they want you to be in this energy because they didn't win. That's just the bottom line. That's how he feel, y'all. And he feel like, man, it's like reckless, like, which, you know, it's crazy. But he's still gonna fool with them though. They still gonna be cool. They might have a little rift, just a little tight rift, you know, small rift. But for the most part, you know, it might be down for a minute like that, but over a period of time, they gonna be, you know what I'm saying? They'll still deal with each other. He just feel like, man, this ain't good look. You know what I mean? Let's see. So we see how Savage feel. We see how Rollo feel. You know who I want to ask about? And then we'll ask about, I'm going to do Mariah the Scientist next. Because this is an updated one. And so we're going to ask about her. Because we know that the calls got released where he was speaking negative about Glorilla. And saying that she was not, you know, attractive, which I thought that is just wow. Wow. So we're going to ask about her next. But because to me, he's a band, in my opinion. That's my opinion. We're going to ask about Wack 100 because he always is the agent of chaos, in my opinion. Always in the middle of everybody's mess when he don't have nothing to do with none of it. You don't have nothing to do with a YSL trial. But he always somebody who gotta have his opinion and, you know, want to be respected, which I don't know how. I don't understand it. So let's ask the energy around him. Like, let's see what's gonna happen to him. We know he's a BAS and calling Thug a rat and all this, but you the biggest one. You done sent, you done sent your own friends to prison. You know, so let's ask. I know this is like random, but let's clear the cards and ask the current energy around him and what's to come. He's a whole bee. I do not like him. And I don't even like to say that, but I always gonna keep it real with y'all. I ain't just asking spirit guys, please give me current energy around Wack 100, Wack 100, Wack 100. I know they say he's the Aries, a fire energy. Please give me the current energy. And what's the come for him? Because he going to end up getting jacked up. You know? He really is. Because he going to keep, you know, trying it and running his mouth. And I'm going to tell you something. One thing he need to understand. Because, I even heard him on Clubhouse or something, calling himself being smart with 21 Savage and all of that. And I love Mr. Savage. I love 21. He took a pause like... You the one doing all that tongue wrestling. You don't want no smoke, baby. Wack 100 gonna get lined up one day playing these games. Okay? You come down here, Savage was like, you come down here to this ATL in this good ATL streets if you want to, and you gonna see this West Side see about you. Okay? Without no words. He already know what type time he on. Okay? So one thing about Wack 100, he don't understand. You better relax when you coming with these YNs, because these little young ones, they is with it, okay? They with all the bullshit, okay? So let's get the current energy around him and what's to come for him in the energy, because he is the worst, bro. And I'm so glad, even though Pee Wee is a Dennis the Menace, and he ain't my favorite person. I don't care for him, but baby, he was another one who, you know, was all online with all this too, because I guess they're saying Thug ratted on him. That was the video that they released of him, Young Thug's, them saying that he's a rat, basically saying he was the one who shot up the bus, I guess, in the Birdman situation and energy. And that's a whole nother conversation, and really that's something I'm not going to talk about it, because I'm not, I know some stuff, but we ain't going to talk about it, okay? Let's get this. All right, let's see how that feel. All right. Man, he's a bitch. Okay. He a whole bitch, y'all. Excuse my French, but... And he working with them people. He is the people, okay? There you go. He is. But again, like I said, he keep coming with the BS, and he finna see. He gonna get seen about at one point, all right? When you see that Wheel of Fortune, it's a new cycle, and it's about karma coming upon you. So all this that you done did towards everybody, man, you gonna get yours. And you know what? Don't be surprised. You gonna see some secrets and more news about him come out, all right, in the future. Because we asking about here and going forward about him. And it's something with him with two women, okay? Earth energy and a Cups energy. So we could hear some information in regards to his, you know, love life too, when you see that, you know. But at the end of the day, he the people, and he working with them. Look at that. So that's why he always running his mouth. Ooh, and this energy, he's a band. And look, he gonna end up he gonna see what's happening sooner or later, okay? Eventually, somebody gonna deal with him. It's just a matter of time, okay? And he is in his energy, always running his mouth. You know what I'm saying? Betraying people, you know? But he gonna get seen about. It's interesting, okay? So in the future, y'all gonna hear some more stuff about him. More stuff gonna come out about him. But he gonna keep playing games, and he gonna see his fate. He eventually gonna get dealt with. Somebody gonna deal with him. You can see that in the cards, okay? So we'll, you know, don't be surprised if you hear some information come out about him soon too, or reveal more revelations in regards to him. And he is the, like they say, they call him Officer Wack. So he definitely working with the people in some form or fashion, okay? All right, let's ask about, I'm gonna tighten it up. We're gonna ask about Mariah the scientist and the energy around her, and you know what's to come for them. And then we're gonna ask the final questions about what's gonna be the outcome with Thug versus everybody. And I'm gonna close this reading out because I know it's been quite long, okay? So let's ask about Mariah the scientist. So please give me her energy around Mariah the scientist. I think she's a Scorpio, so and what's gonna be the outcome with her and Young Thug? Okay, so let's get the current energy around Mariah the scientist and how she feels about Thug and what's the come for them in their relationship. Let's see. I know y'all want to know, so let's add him and what's the come with it. All right, Mariah the scientist, Mariah the scientist. Her mouth with glow really child. Her energy around Mariah the scientist. What's the come with her Young Thug? For some reason that one card keep popping out. That's crazy. Okay. Energy. We'll take it if it just bent all up like that. The energy around her right now. What's the call? Okay. And this thing is okay, let's see. Look at that, y'all. Ooh. Here's the top. Alright, so this is an extra this. Okay, it is. It is. Alright, let's see. Damn, it's so funny. Same cards because it's kind of the same messages. You get what I'm saying? On different people and how they feel. So it's interesting. Alright, so with Mariah the Scientist, guys, she like, damn, you looking like a fool. She feel like a fool. He looking like a fool. He's been reckless with his energy. How you get so reckless? How all this shit keep coming out, okay? She in her feelings, y'all. She feel away, okay? And this is about, when you see this in reverse, okay? She gonna try her best to hold on, but baby, she looking at it like, man, this is messed up. And she feel like whoever did this, she feel like also this can represent, you know, her feeling like this was purposely done to him. But they gonna hit a brick in the road. Okay? They gonna hit what you call it, say where they gonna, they're having conflict, okay? She feel like she not being viewed well either. Judgment, okay? Judgment is upon her. Judgment is upon him. And they both looking crazy as hell. And you got me looking crazy, nigga. Okay? This is about 3 people. So, this also shows a rock in the road, or, you know, a fork in the road with them, you know, ahead in regards to somebody else, okay? So, don't be surprised, you know, if we, you know, eventually hear him doing some other things or getting caught up in other things, okay? She looking at it like, you're going to hear some energy around when it comes to, like, the page. We asked about her current energy, too. She going to have some money opportunities ahead for her, but she gonna also experience some loss too, guys, in finances when it comes to him, based on her being associated with him in this whole situation, okay? And this also represents him having financial problems too in regards to this whole situation, okay? Ooh. And just feeling, you know, she in her feelings, guys, like, man. And she feel like this was brought upon all in regards to money too. Like, she feel like somebody doing this, they feel like, you know, the whole thing was that they lost. And also that they had to, remember his items had to be returned to him, okay? And he also gonna come up with an offer for her. So don't be surprised if we hear about that soon. When I was flipping, I think that the Knight of Cups wanted to really come out, because it's like he may try to save the relationship by some type of proposal or something. So don't be surprised if something like that even kind of pops out, okay? But this is about unstable. And also him, he's still cheating, y'all. He's still doing other things. So don't be surprised if we hear something about him and somebody else, because look, in the end, it's going to eventually end to them. She's going to end up moving on. You see that? She basically finna move on. Because he's still doing what he want to do. Even through all this bullshit, y'all, he's still doing his big one. And when you see that death card, it's like, she going to be moving on. Look, because they're going to hit a tower moment, okay? If they not already. Well, it is a tower moment because of everything that's going on and call being leaked about Ro Ritter, so we get to see that. But it also represents they are going to have a tower moment in regards to another woman and his reckless energy. Because, look, it keep being threes. I can't make it up. And just him being restricted on all this that done came out. So, she gonna be moving on, child. And his butt, and in this all in due time. So, don't be surprised if you hear about him getting caught cheating or, you know, something like that coming up, and it'll be a conflict with them. But the final analysis is they gonna hit a break or, you know, a rock in the road where they will end up breaking up or parting ways at some point, okay? So they got a tower moment ahead. Now, you know, you can always break up and then eventually make up. Who knows? But we do know that it's a break for them coming ahead in some form or fashion. So let's ask and tighten this on up. We're going to ask Jeffrey Williams, a.k.a. Young Thug. What is the outcome for Thug? What is the outcome? What's the come for him, Spirit? Him against everybody. What is to come for him and all of this situation with him being outed and, you know, this is a personal vendetta, like I said to him. But what's to come for him, Spirit? Will he be able to come back from this? Will he come back from this? What is his, you know, future energy? What's the come for this man? Will he be all right? Will he be able to, you know, build and repair and come past this tower moment of karma and all of the things? So energy on that, and we gonna close out. We can do a part 2, and y'all listen, when y'all finish this reading, write some more questions under it, you know, and request, and then I'll come back if we have to even sooner with a part 2, because as we clearly see, the calls just keep on coming, baby. Okay, so let's ask. We asking. Come on, let's see. Thug versus everybody. What will be the outcome? Will he be able to, you know, have some form of repair when it comes to this situation? Ooh. That is the future for him. Ooh. Damn. Okay. Okay, that's an extra message. Let's do extra messages in the extra messages. Well, we know that was an extra message, okay? So in his future, damn. All right, what's the comfort Thug? Thug. Right now, he looking at it like, you know, he know that all eyes are on him at this moment, which we can see, okay? But he gonna work on himself, guys. You know, he not happy about how things have turned out, how he's getting outed and revealed. So he gonna hit a point in going forward in time, okay? Where he is going to kind of work on himself, work on his life, work on his health, you know, work on even how he's being viewed, you know. He's gonna come to that because he wants to be in a comfortable energy space, okay? So again, when you see that in this card, the card of work beside it, he gonna work, he gonna put in some work behind the scenes, and he gonna work on himself, okay? Again, I said that Knight of Cups was trying to pop out, didn't I? So this represents to me Mariah, like, he don't be surprised if we hear some type of, he gonna try to do something to save it, okay? But they gonna hit a break in the road. Now, maybe this might be how he can come bring them back together. I don't know. But at some point, they gonna, you know, hit a rock in the road. But It looked like he working on himself, and he gonna work on it with her and try to make things work, you know. He is feeling out in the cold. He is experiencing loss. He is embarrassed. He is hurt by everything. He's not happy about all of this that's going on. And he is being shut out. This represents, you know, being shut out of the industry, shut out of relationships. People feel like, you know, he handled things recklessly, moving shady, you know. But he gonna have a form of depression too. All right, so even through this trying to work on things, his energy is low. All right. You know, the betrayal of it all, the embarrassment with the 5, you know what I'm saying? All of those things. He embarrassed too. But, you know, even with feeling down about it all, he gonna go through a low point of depression, but he gonna try his best to work on it and work on himself while he's being shut out of this energy, okay? The conflict, you know, is here, all right? But it's eventually gonna come to an end, guys. Eventually. Eventually, all this shit gonna come to an end, okay? And I'm not necessarily saying he'll come back from it, but at some point, you know, through all of this, because this is karma for him. Y'all see that? This is karma. And right now, you know, he's a failure. His projects are failing, you know, relationships, just everything. It's like he done hit that dead end energy. And karma has showed up. And this is a lot, you know, where he slowed down, you know. Pride in a way. But this is the pause. This is the pause of motion. This is it. So yeah, we gonna see a pause from him. And in the background with the pause, it's eventually going to be the end of conflict at some point for him, okay? But the good news is, one thing about the tables, they got to always turn, don't they? So even when you down and you feeling like it's all over and nothing can get better and damn, look at all what happened to me, and you get it all, you know, get your ass handed to you from your friends, your family, your woman, all the things, and you got to put in work and figure out how you gonna make this stuff right with everybody. Okay? So this is what he gonna be doing in the background, guys. He gonna really be working on himself, working on the wrong actions that he took against everybody and all the problems and trouble he caused. Because this is about not being humble, not understanding what you've done. But I think that it's safe to say, due to what has happened, he gonna figure it out. And he gonna work on it, okay? Work on himself. Try to be a better person. Because he is experiencing his karma. It is what it is. But like I said, when it's all said and done, he eventually gonna be okay. But he got to go through the storm and the tower moments and the losses. Okay? He going through the melee right now. This is ahead, you know, like further down. But right now, he got some work to do. So, we will revisit this. Remember, energy changes all the time. I love y'all. Please like, comment, and subscribe, okay? This was another long one, so when I come back, I'm going to try to do some short ones. I think the next one I'm going to do is old Taylor and Travis, and maybe we can even do, I got a list of everybody, so I'm going to just try to pump out a few, and then I want to get y'all, you got the personal zodiac messages and stuff. We got 2 eclipses in this month of September, so I got a lot to do. So I'm going to try to get down to business and put some stuff out for you guys. I love y'all. I think it's safe to say it's Thug versus everybody right now. And he got a long road, okay? We know more stuff gonna be coming out and all of the things. We do know that this was deliberately done to him. You know, allegedly, all this stuff is alleged. Remember that. You know, but with all the players and all the people involved. But eventually, when it's all said and done, it will come to an end at some point. It's going to take some time. But eventually, he will, you know, get to a place where he going to be all right. But it's going to be a minute, all right? So I love y'all, and I will see y'all soon. And in the next one, okay? Again, like I said, any comments, any other questions, we got to come back. You know, we'll revisit it, all right? Peace and love.